Hello everybody, HRMMA 128 is going down tonight at the Paraket Springs Conference Center in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. I wanted to sit down and break down 3 of the fights on the main card that I think you should be looking out for. If you're new here, my name's Hunter. I talk MMA, I talk to fighters, get involved with people in the industry, and I'm really glad to have you here. So consider subscribing if that's something you're into. Also, leave a comment down below of your predictions of the card tonight. Otherwise, let's get into the matchups. So the first fight that I wanted to highlight today is Gabe Ruth versus Omar Campbell. This title fight is where Gabe is defending his amateur lightweight belt. So Omar is coming out of Circle City Martial Arts and Fitness. He's on a 3-fight win streak. I got to see him fight against Gerardo Alfaro. He got the first round submission in that fight, I believe. And in his 2 most recent fights, it looks like he got the belt both at Cage Combat Productions 8 as well as MFL 58. Omar in this fight, I think, is going to have the height advantage. He's very good at picking his shots, which I think will do well against Gabe Ruth, because on the other side of the cage is Gabe Ruth coming out of Derby City MMA, who's undefeated in kickboxing and MMA. I've watched all of Gabe's fights. He is an explosive fighter, a crowd favorite. His 2 biggest strengths, in my opinion, are his technicality and his speed. His last fight was a submission win against Donovan Smith, so he's proven himself both on the ground and on the feet. So I think this fight is going to be an absolute masterpiece to watch. I think this is going to be an explosive fight. Both fighters are very talented, and they both have the ability to end the fight early, I think. So I believe this fight is going to really come down to who's able to defend themselves better. And I know the crowd's going to get loud for this one, so I'm really excited for this. The next fight I wanted to highlight is Will Davis versus Travis Hudson. I've talked to both these guys. These guys are incredible. They're amazing athletes. Will is coming out of Derby City MMA. He's 2-0 as a professional fighter. He's a very dominant boxer. He's really good in the clinch, but even outside of the clinch, like I said, he's got some really good ability to get inside and do some damage as a boxer. So in his last fight against Devin Evans, they spent a lot of the time in the clinch, but the only time he really had any trouble was when he got hit by a surprise uppercut. But he recovered very quickly, and he took back the clinch and eventually got the sub in round 2. Travis Hudson is coming in 1-3 out of Triumph Combat. Travis is an experienced grappler, and he does not give up. He's a very tough individual. All his fights I've seen of him have been just a lot of heart. All of his wins have been by submission, so I expect him in this fight to really want to get Will Davis on the ground and kind of wear him out. And so for Will, I think this fight's about staying on the feet and kind of doing some really technical boxing here. And then if you're Travis, I think you're going to want to try to get Will to the ground and wear him out. Both these guys are really tough, so I'm excited to see this fight. Lastly, I wanted to highlight the main event of Tyler Stout versus Ronnie Burton. Tyler's fighting out of Two Brothers Muay Thai, and Ronnie is coming out of Vision MMA. I think I got to see Ronnie fight at Future Fighting a few times. He's undefeated as a professional fighter, and both of his fights have went to decision. Burton likes to control the center of the cage, and he's really good at keeping the pressure on and not being really overly reactive to big shots when they do get to him. So I think that's going to go really well against Tyler Stout, because Tyler Stout has some heavy hands, and he's very keen on keeping control of the cage as well. So he's coming in at 2-2 in his professional career. He's very efficient with his combinations, and he keeps moving at all times. He doesn't really allow for a lot of downtime in the cage. Overall, I feel like this fight has a lot of knockout potential. I think it's going to be an active fight. I think they're both going to be really aggressive, trying to keep control of the center of the cage. So I think this is going to be a really fun watch, and I believe this is the perfect main event for this card, in my opinion. I believe there's 14 fights scheduled for this card, and I think this is going to be a perfect way to cap that off. So that's my quick thoughts on tonight's card, and I'm about to head up there right now, so hopefully I'll see you there. I've been working on getting things set up to do some more interviews this year and get into more card breakdowns as we go, so if that's something you'd like to see, I'd really appreciate you to leave a comment and subscribe. But once again, I hope to see you there, or if you're watching online, I hope you enjoy the card. So thanks, everybody.